Okay, sir. We are the Group 7 and we will tackle about climate change. So first, what is climate change? Climate change is the long-term alteration of Earth's climate, mainly caused by human activities like burning fossil fuels, leading to global warming, rising sea levels, and extreme weather events. So, climate is not similar to weather, which is constantly changing. Climate refers to the long-term weather patterns prevailing over a given area of the planet. The term comes from a Greek word "kilinin", meaning to slope. It evolved into "klima", connoting a zone or region of the Earth as characterized by its atmospheric conditions. In ancient Greece, the orb of the sun stood at a high angle in the sky at noontime as ships sailed toward the north, and the daytime temperature of the air would get colder. Hence, the climate in the north was colder than in the south. Next slide, please. Next is Earth's movement around the sun. While the orbit remains an ellipse, its position or orientation in space changes over time. Due to the tilt of the Earth, the whole area does not receive sunlight. The Earth spins around its own axis, an imaginary line from the North Pole to South Pole, which dips wobble gradually. The Earth could then be imagined like a spinning top or trompo, turning and wobbling in its path about the sun. Next slide.
The interaction between the Sun and the Earth is defined by several astronomical and physical elements that determine the Earth's climate, seasons, and various celestial phenomena. 1. Aphelion refers to the point in the orbit of the Earth farthest from the Sun. Second is perihelion is the point in the orbit of the Earth closest to the Sun. Third is Earth's axial tilt is the inclination angle of the Earth's rotational axis in relation to a line perpendicular to its orbital plane. Fourth, precession is the change of the orientation of the rotational axis of the Earth. Fifth is the equinox refers to the time the sun at noon is directly over the equator. It happens twice a year and causes an almost equal length of the day and night. Six is solstice happens when the sun at noon sits above the solstice has the longest period of daylight in the year and Tropic of Cancer of Tropic of Capricorn. The summer, the winter solstice has the shortest period. The last is precession. Precession of the equinoxes refers to the motions of the equinoxes relative to the position of the Earth's axis of rotation. It happens over thousands of years. Together, these elements govern the dynamic relationship between the Earth and the Sun, dictating the cycles of seasons, days and night, and long-term climatic shifts. Understanding them helps explain not only daily weather patterns but also long-term changes in the Earth climax. Next.
The center of the Earth orbital motion is the Sun, but the angle of orientation of the planet around the Sun make all the difference. In discussing global warming or climate change, it makes sense to start considering the orbit of the Earth. Sunlight falling upon the Earth warm the planets.
So, Milutin Milankovitch, his contemporary scientists critique his work, saying that the effects of the change in the radius of the Earth's orbit, the change in the tilt of the spin of the Earth, and the wobble in the spin axis, now called the Milankovitch parameters, while real, were each so small that they could not alter the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth. enough to cause a phenomenon like the Ice Age. They felt he had a good idea, but it was not enough to explain the event that was being addressed. Milankovitch's calculation indicate that there would indeed be a change, but seem far too small to cause an ice age. Even a cumulative effect would simply be too tiny to matter. It could not be proven that one caused the other and hence could not be qualified as a scientific fact or genuine theory. Next, please.
Milankovitch parameters. There have been eras of climate change in the past. Is it possible that the 21st century may introduce yet another dramatic changes in climate? Is there enough information to answer the age-old question of what will the weather be tomorrow? There is a growing body of data suggesting that the climate, not just the local today weather is changing all over the world. In fact, since the end of the 20th century, many scientists have asked if the Earth is headed for another ice age, Sparks and Harksburg 2004. So, slides please. The Milankovitch parameters seem to be part of the cause of climate change, though not the only cause. Some other factor seems to be needed today. As the world considers climate change and its implications on food security and national development, many nations are taking a deeper look at the science behind the issue. There are two opposing arguments on the issue of whether or not this global warming is just natural. One side states that nature simply acting according to its laws with no reference to human beings and their actions is the main reason. For the purveyors of this belief, global warming will happen as naturally as the sun rises and sets. Meanwhile, the other side maintains that global warming is caused or greatly abetted by the action of human beings. It lays the blame on the action of humanity, past and present.
Greenhouse gases. The so-called greenhouse effect refers to how certain gases in the atmosphere trap the heat of the sun. As early as 1859, British engineer John Tyndall wrote, as a dam built across a river caused a local deepening of the stream, so our atmosphere thrown across the terrestrial infrared rays produce a local heightening of the temperature at the Earth's surface. So this word means that atmosphere contains certain gases that naturally capture the heat from the sun and hold it so that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere become hotter than it would be otherwise. This mechanism is good for the biosphere because without it, the Earth atmosphere would be like that of Mars Antarctica, extremely cold. Life can be sustained at planet Earth due to these gases and other elements. The middle of the 19th century, Tidal noted that the most prevalent of these greenhouse gases is water vapor. So, if you are not familiar of water vapor is the gaseous phase of water. It is one state of water within the hydrosphere. Water vapor can be produced from the evaporation or boiling of liquid water or from the sublimation of ice. So, future actions. As presented in this book, however, this issue has implication on the environment and on the economy. Burning fossils fuel is one of the major sources of electricity. So, the burning fossil is the major source of electricity, but also leads to higher amount of CO2 or carbon dioxide. that can affect atmosphere. All factors must then considered when resolving this issue or debate if we want to industrialize but at the same time protect the environment. Then a balanced plan must be created. So this will be all, sir. Thank you.